What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Emilio in Tennessee, here to talk some Packers as we are officially in Packers-Bears week. Going to be exciting talking about these two teams. One is an absolute dumpster fire. The other one can be a dumpster fire, and they can also be a top three team in the league. So this is going to be a lot of fun to break down as we move closer to game day. But before we get started here, let's give a quick shout out to the good folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since '92, specializing in Packers tickets. They're Wisconsin's largest ticket source with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Click on the link in the video description that'll send you to theticketking.com. You can register for free as a customer. Go ahead and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Emilio, long time no see, brother. How you been doing?
Good. I took Matt's advice, said, just go off and have yourself a bye week and, enjoy yourself, reset. And I get back here and, back to work today, right? Had the injury report come out. I showed up, so we'll see.
And you're not the only one, man. It's been kind of a thin crowd across all Packers podcasts. Once we get back into game week, everybody comes rolling back.
Right? No, quick little reset mid-season, nothing to it. And man, I miss football being out there, right? It was cool kind of watching it happen in the background, but besides that, it's nothing that I can't be ready for. A little bit more Packers coming up.
Yeah. Jeff Silky in the chat says, long time no talk, fam. I'm a busy boy. Hey, busy's good.
I feel the same way. Yeah, that's me.
2-0 for this says Emilio's mustache is growing. So there you go. Congratulations.
Oh, man, I need to shave them.
So is there anything on the forefront of your mind, man, that comes to the Packers? Obviously, we're coming out of the bye week, sitting at 6-3. Anything you want to talk about right off the bat? Anything you've been thinking about, studying, anything like that?
Not exactly, man. I know we were going to hit on it, but coming back from injury is going to be huge. And I really am excited after I've been sleeping on it a little bit. What an opportunity for Mosby and Brenton Cox Jr. to kind of take off on the DN. Obviously, we're going to get, our first round and fourth round out there, but what are the two undrafteds going to do that are going to make a step up and change? Can it be, not that it's going to be, one for one, but could it be like our James Starks or something like that? Something that pops up near the end of the year that takes off. I'd be completely fine with it.
Yeah. Well, I did see this come across the wire right before we went live, and everybody in the chat help me out here. Let me know if you guys have heard if this is fake or not. I didn't personally hear Xavier McKinney say this, but ML Football tweeted out, damn, Packers defensive back Xavier McKinney went off on Bears wide receiver DJ Moore. Quote, this dude walked out on his QB. I don't think I've ever seen that. You're supposed to be the guy, and you're just walking off the field. You're walking off the field on a rookie quarterback. And it says Bears, Packers, Sunday with the popcorn emoji. So, obviously, he's referring to the play that we broke down. I think it was last week, maybe the week before, where DJ Moore just literally mid-play just walks off the field. You were in here for that one.
Yeah. The benefit of the doubt I gave him was that he stepped out of bounds, and you can't touch the ball when you come back into play. But, yeah, you watch that on tape, Monday morning. Everyone's in there looking at it. You got your OC, O-line coach. You got all the helpers. It's dude, you quit on that play. That's tough.
There's no doubt about it. And, you missed – I know you wasn't here for the yesterday's show, and we kind of broke down all the drama that's going on around Chicago. It sounds like before they let Shane Waldron go, some of the players went to the coaching staff and asked to have Caleb Williams benched so Bagent can play. And then all of a sudden, I think they pushed back on it. Shane Waldron is let go. And now you got a new play caller, all that good stuff, new OC. So let's say it could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing for the Bears, right? This might spark some results for them. Lord knows it can't get any worse in Chicago, because I'm telling you, that offense has been absolute cheeks here lately. Right. So I don't know. How do you feel about that with them changing the OC kind of quickly? And then obviously this drama, Xavier McKinney just kind of poking them a little bit there. Like, hey, it's almost like being the Wally veteran he is. He's saying, hey, don't don't forget, this dude walked off the field on his rookie quarterback, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's two different mindsets if you're looking at it. It's, the Bears always trying to chase something, and X having something now, because he's been there before, right? Maybe he felt that feeling with the Giants previously. Like, dude, I love playing football, but, man, this team is just not it. now that he's got a brotherhood, he's got a room. Obviously, he was in charge in New York, but something that he's built here with his brothers. I love it. Got a little dog in him, and it's, the quiet ones. This is the first time we've heard him, speak up. I think that's probably a reason on it. It's not like he's out there chirping all the time. Let the scoreboard do the talking type stuff and his picks. So I think, maybe it'll get in DJ's head. He wants to try to attack him, and try to push it, and maybe X gets another chance at a pick or two. But yeah, someone had to be the scapegoat, right? That's why they got rid of Shane. He was the one that came from Seattle. Correct me, right? Is that
that's right? He was the
same dude that they were interviewing the players, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because like when you look on the surface, Emilio, Shane Waldron had Geno Smith in the MVP running, right, as an OT.
Yep.
And then, like you said, as soon as he leaves, I think they asked, was it Quentin Johnston maybe or someone? Yeah, they asked the receiver, and hey, what'd you think of Shane Waldron? Like he didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. I'm good for him. I'm glad he's not here anymore, kind of thing. But you see it. Is there more of a problem though? The fact that they've fallen into the same kind of trap the past 2-3 years, like their offense falls to the same thing of swing, screen, slants, and and curls type stuff. That's got to be more than just an OC problem. Maybe check at the lower levels, maybe check all your position coaches, maybe check the trainers. But obviously we can point at all the problems they have up at the top, right? And I think it's just going to keep happening. Like everyone was claiming for them to get rid of somebody else besides Shane. If they don't beat us this weekend, is somebody else gone? How long does that keep going? Because they got a battle ahead.
Dude, their remaining schedule is brutal.
They got six division games, and then
it's crazy. I was looking at, I'm like, it's possible they don't win another game. It's definitely possible. Now, these division games, typically it's normal. No matter how bad a team is, you can split. Win one, lose one on the season. So maybe they win 2-3 games. But what's crazy is, like Coach Lynn says here, that play from DJ Moore might be worse than the Tyreek Stevenson play. Shaking my head. We ain't even talking about that anymore. Remember Tyreek Stevenson jawing with the crowd on the Hail Mary and then goes over and that's what's crazy is, like, that game before that Hail Mary, they were doing pretty good. They were like, oh man, all right, the Bears are in it here. And they have just
I want to say it was Wes and Mike talking on their unscripted saying the momentum bubble popped right at that Hail Mary. They had the momentum, and now they are just absolutely falling flat on their face. And how can you come back from something like that? If it takes the wind out of your sails, then you're up looking at the schedule, and it's like, dude, we are so far behind. We're basically where the Cowboys are right now. We are absolutely kissing where the Cowboys are at. And if we lose this week, it's basically playoffs are over. That entire offseason of hearing how the Bears are back and bear down or bear up, whatever they want to say, man, like this weekend is a telltale sign of if it's over or not.
Yeah. AFM in the chat, good to see you, buddy. He says, agreeing with Clayton. I think we're going to know what we have with Jordan Love after the end of the season. Goody talked about, Amelia, I don't know if you heard him, but he said, 20 to 25 game range is typically, what you got in a quarterback. Yep. I think this is going to be his 25th or 26th start for Love. So definitely by the end of the year, I think we're going to know, all right, he is the franchise quarterback. Regardless, he's going to be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think as a fan base and us being hypercritical, I'm as guilty as anyone. I think we're going to be able to look at the end of the year and go, all right, we can win with Jordan, or man, Jordan's the guy, or I don't know, this don't look good, It could go either way, because the interceptions, it's a real problem, obviously. And when you look at the turnover worthy plays, it don't look as bad, but at the same time, it's more about that situational awareness that Jordan struggled with. And I think that can be fixed. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that might not be able to be fixed is the inconsistency with the accuracy. The only player here recently to really be able to improve their accuracy overall has been Josh Allen. And don't get me wrong, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, right? So it's a good comp to have, to say, hey, you can fix the accuracy. But the decision making, you definitely can fix that, right? Am I wrong thinking that, dude? Because like I think that's something that can be coached out. Like, hey, look, situationally, we know we're in this thing. There's no reason to play hero ball here. Don't try to make everything up in one play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, and I think you're right on spot on there with situationally. Situationally, we also had a bye week right after he had all these bad plays that we can sit there and look at. You don't think Matt said, "All right, team, let me get a cut up of Jordan's top worst plays of this year, and let's just send it to him, put it on repeat." You know, like you got to kind of see it to get that taste out of your mouth. You know that it happened. It's putting your eyes back on it. That's the problem. And I think that him doing that, maybe having time to reset, look at it, say, no, I mean, I can play. I don't need to. This doesn't need to be a thing for me. And I think that we really can go somewhere with him. I was looking. Who was it? It was Easton Butler put one out, a tweet earlier about the Packers are currently 5-2 during Toyotathon. Little plug there. But with Love at QB during Toyotathon, Love is 169 to 247 with 1,834 yards and a 16-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
Let's go.
So I'm not saying it's not, it doesn't mean anything, but it's like, give that man a quick reset, get back to life. Why we're here. We love playing the game. We want to play football, and just problem is we can't restrict him. We had when we held him back, we hated the offense. When we told him not to do those things, we hated the offense. So we do have to take the good with the bad. I think that him being able to have a little bit of time off and can breathe, I think that he'll be headed on the right track coming back.
No, definitely. 2-0 for this in the chat. The injury news out of the bye seems to be really positive, which will help a lot in the corner room. I think all the way across the roster, to be honest with you. 2-0 for this. I think the entire roster is getting healthy. We're going to hit the injury report here in a second for sure. Greg Rice says, I hope we start fast versus Chicago. I think poor red zone offense and their defense getting turnovers that they take to the house is the only way it is close. And I think that's a pretty good assessment there, Greg. Like, all it takes is one or two of those big turnovers, right? Where you're, like a turnover in the middle eight that costs you the middle eight. Or like we said, God forbid, a pick six or a scoop and score off a fumble, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take a handful of plays like that in the game for Chicago, I think, to beat Green Bay. But listen, when you got a rivalry game, a division rivalry, the records go out the damn window. I don't care how bad a team looks. This is their Super Bowl. Like, there's nothing these guys want more than to beat the Green Bay Packers. I know Detroit's at the top of the division and all that. That's all well and good. But when Chicago and Green Bay get together, it's different. Records out the window. It's all about those two logos, and let's go out there and crack skulls. That's what it comes down to. So
that's it.
Yeah, I think anything could happen for sure, man. I like our chances. I think we match up well. Just got to protect the football. If we don't protect the football, you can get beat by Podunk University. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter who you're playing.
And that's all Matt preaches is we got to be plus. We got to be plus in the turnover differential. You're going to have one here, 2 or 3 here, but we need whatever that means. Whatever the offense gives up, we need to have, +1, +2 on the defense. I think that we can. We haven't had, a bunch in a while. I think that maybe this is the game. Just get them churning.
Yeah. 2-0 for this says Caleb is going to be reacquainted with Evan Williams very soon, and I hope Evan plays this Sunday. He was practicing today. Again, we're going to get the practice report here in a minute. I hope he's on the field, no doubt. Mm-hmm. Mike Berry in the chat says Chicago Pods are worried that we may rush for 300. This is a good defense from Chicago, but the reality is teams can run on them, right? And again, it doesn't matter how good your defense is. You're choosing to take one or the other away, right? And it seems like they're going kind of bend but don't break, a lot of takeovers or a lot of takeaways, and they're choosing to just kind of, I want to say ignore the run, but say, all right, we'll give you the run. We'll give you those plays going down the field, but it's going to take a 12-play drive to score on us, and by then you're going to make a mistake. But I do like our chances running the football this Sunday. What about you, man?
I think so. We need Josh Jacobs to break that 1,000, be the first one on the offense to do it this year. I think he'll break 100, maybe 150 this game. And Matt just needs to keep turning. Who was saying it to you earlier? Greg was saying, I really think Matt's offense is on another level when the run's working because, one, he can coach up and he can scheme up a run like nobody else. And two, Greg saying, I don't understand why he always gives up on it so easily. That I don't get. I think that he gets excited and wants to be, ahead in the downs. And I think that him wanting to be ahead in the downs and it not working out for 1 or 2 drives, then he keeps trying to chase it a little bit. And I think it's a perfect reset for Matt, too. Everyone's got to look inward this whole week. This whole bye week, Matt's looking at stuff for Jordan, for, Elton, for Josh, for Christian. I'm sure he saw something out there for X. Like, he's looking at all that. But then at the end of the day, he's like, all right, what have I done? What do I need to do? You heard it in his presser. He said that they changed up the practice schedule a little bit. He doesn't want the guys getting out of there at, 4 or 5 when it's dark and you get home and your mood's different. It's tough up there. It is literally dark and cloudy probably until April. You're not going to get fresh sun like we're getting down here. Trust me. Like, I know what it's brutal up there in the wintertime. So I get that. I like that. And you have to keep them. You got to keep them refreshed. It's a long run. At least we don't have to go, 15 games or whatever we were going to have to do last year. That run's a lot shorter now, but we got to start it this week.
Yeah. Agreed. Prince in the chat says Chicago Sunday, 60 degrees and cloudy with slight chance for
slight chance of meatballs.
A slight chance of what?
A slight chance of meatballs.
Hey, dude, get Josh Jacobs geared up and ready to go. Emmanuel Wilson. I know many people are asking about Marshawn Lloyd. I don't expect him to play this Sunday. I could be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. I don't know. It just kind of feels like that would be more of a let's get a full week of practice on the injury report. I think he's got a hammy on the injury report. We'll hit that in a second. But I don't know. I'm not really. I'm kind of lowering my expectations for Marshawn Lloyd coming back this Sunday. You got anything to add to that, Emilio? Any inside information you got?
I wish. No, I would say that he's still. But what was Josh Jacobs saying in his interview? Like, that was it. He did say, Josh Jacobs said that. Did you know Marshawn Lloyd rode with Josh Jacobs every day to practice? Mm-hmm. He said he's coming with him every day. So that kind of leadership from your older back is huge, especially a dude that went through 2 injuries back to back. Something nagging, something. I mean, he hasn't seen the NFL field, got drafted, was excited, ready to play. His family's excited for him, moves up here, all that, hasn't even seen the field. So why not let it happen this, at the end of the year? You don't have to be perfect right off the bat, but if you start to blow up or you have a game or two that could spring us at the most opportune time, maybe it was meant to be that you had to wait, right? So just be ready for when your time comes. It's going to be there. It's not like Josh is taking, 50 runs a game, even though Mike Tomlin ran the ball 43 times. I'd like to see Matt get to something like that. I think Matt needs to be able to commit to that if the game calls for it, that we just hammer it. I mean, give Josh 25, everybody else gets 10 or 15 and just send it.
Yeah. If you guys would take a quick second, hit that like button for us, help other Packer fans find this channel, find this content. We appreciate y'all making us a part of your evening here as we are in an injury report Wednesday, getting geared up for the Packers-Bears game at 12 noon Central in Chicago this Sunday. Going to be a fun game to watch. Rail in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. Says DJ Moore appeared on the Kay Adams show in the offseason, and she asked him about the division getting, quote, beefed up. And when mentioned McKinney, he said, who?
That's terrible.
Thank you, Chuck. That's probably what's going on there between McKinney and him. Now McKinney takes a shot back at him. Hey, he walked off the field on his rookie quarterback. It's going to be fun, man. I just look forward to the plays where DJ Moore is running that vert, and you've got our boy McKinney, whether he's playing post safety or he's playing buzz. Let's get those two matched up and let them lock horns, because I'm telling you right now, DJ Moore is a good receiver. I believe that. I could be in the minority with that. I believe DJ Moore is a great receiver, but McKinney's just on a different level right now, man. I did not expect it. Amelia, I thought we were getting the best safety in free agency. I was not expecting defensive player of the year top numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and that's it. How could we have known what that was going to be? We had a brand new D coordinator coming in. We pulled in a safety from another team. We basically flushed our whole safety. Remember when we were fighting about AJJ and, we wanted AJJ to be there and Rudy, your boy Rudy Ford. It's like, that's where we've come from. And now we're talking about potentially, all pro, first team all pro. Yeah, right. Exactly. And rookie, first team rookie, all that stuff. And just in a matter of a year, I think that's why they were thinking the same thing of if Preston, I'm happy that they discussed it off the field and said, hey, like if we can get me out of here, I'd be cool with it because, I don't want to hurt you guys. But, the way Rashawn talked about it and how much he helped them, let's do that same thing. All right, Preston's out. We got, we're moved on. Let the young kids play just like last year with the receivers, and we're off. I don't see a problem with it at all. You might as well get Halfley out there with every bit of talent we can and see how much more we can grow in these, the last half of the season.
Yep. Last one here, and we'll get to the injury report. J. Cole says Jaden Reed may have 1,000 yards this year. I could see it.
I think we talked about that. I think you picked Jay Reed, Josh Jacobs, and who was it? I want to say potentially we were talking Romeo, but I think you said for the two almost guarantees, you'd say Josh Jacobs and Jay Reed were the ones going to break 1,000 on the team.
Yep. Definitely. All right, so let's get to the practice news and the injury report, all that good stuff. We'll kind of bunch it all up into one. Matt Schneidman put this tweet out earlier, had a little clip from practice, and he said every player on the 53 is practicing today coming off the bye. That includes Jair Alexander, Evan Williams, and Josh Myers, who all missed Week 9 with injuries. Tucker Kraft is out of the red non-contact jersey, so that's great. Marshawn Lloyd is practicing for the first time since Week 2, so that got us our answer, Emilio, as to did Marshawn Lloyd practice at all here recently when the practice window opened? It sounds like he's on the field for the first time. You see him there. He looks good. He looks, yeah. I mean, to me, just based off of that in shells there, or not shells, but non-contact, I don't see anything that says, oh, I don't know, he's running ginger there. I mean, you see the burst. Looks good, right?
But, yep, jump cut, turn, got upfield quickly. And everything you can ask for, right? He's not on the side on a bike. I'm totally fine if he can get a play or two. It's not like if we're up 10 points, 15, whatever, get his feet wet, give him a couple touches. I think that'd be ideal. You'd rather not have to put him in the first time if it's, Josh goes down hurt, Emmanuel gets something banged up, and he's got to go run the ball 20 times, in the third and fourth quarter. So let's get him a couple touches, get his feet wet, and see where it goes.
Yeah. And again, you don't want it to be something that you rush him back too soon. Next thing you know, he's right back on IR, right? So yeah. He's good to go. He's good to go. But Rob Demoski also tweeted out here another clip from practice of the O-line, and you can see Josh Myers in this clip. It says all 52 players on the roster are practicing. I don't know if he meant 53. He could have. Center Josh Myers appears to have a little bit more use of his left hand / wrist, which kept him out of the last game. Cornerback Jair Alexander and safety Evan Williams also practicing after missing the previous game. So you can see Josh Myers here kind of back in the fold. Hopefully he's good to go. We can kick Elton back over to I'm trying to look there. It kind of looked like he was avoiding using that left hand just now, didn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to take a peek. I mean, he does kind of do that little thing where he holds it out, kind of like, grabs at the air for a sec, but gingerly on it. He used it a little bit, but, no point in pushing it. Still don't love it.
I'm with you. Again, it's one of those things that, the bad snaps last week, obviously it was piss poor in the rain. Elton Jenkins, who hasn't snapped a whole lot of balls this year, playing left guard. Josh Myers. One thing about Josh Myers, he's been healthy for the most part of his career. Now, whether you think he's a good center or not, that's, there's differing opinions on that. Mm-hmm. But we'll find out in the offseason whether or not Goody thinks he's a good offensive lineman or not, right?
Yeah.
As to where if we're gonna sign him or not. So
I think she did great there on the nose, though. On that one tech right there, I think get him, ducked underneath, got up into Sean Ryan's face there. Okay, Sheed, I see you.
I think Sheed's going to end up being a great lineman. I really do, man. He's starting to clean up the penalties now, which is absolutely huge. It's really been the only knock on him, for the most part. But let's see here. So the big news that everybody's waiting on is Jordan Love. Like, okay, how's Jordan looking now? Obviously, he's been playing with that messed up groin. They get a full week of rest now with the bye. Rob Demoski tweeted out, with Jordan Love no longer limited, it means he took all the practice reps for the first time in a while. Quote, it'd be good to just get him some practice under his belt where he's fully healthy, is what Matt LaFleur said. Love will listed on the injury report, but as a full participant. I think he's saying he was listed, but was as a full participant. So it sounds like Jordan is finally 100% healthy, which is great news there. Mm-hmm. I know they had him in the locker room earlier today too. Matt Schneidman actually tweeted out a video We'll play this real quick, then we'll get your take on Jordan. It's just 19 seconds. Let's see what J Love had to say here. As Matt Schneiman said, Jordan Love on the Packers' dominance of the Bears.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those weeks that obviously you want to win every week. But with this rivalry, we know what this game's all about, and we take, like I said, we take pride in that. So, it's one of those things that we just take it 1 week at a time and understand the opponent that we got and try and put our best foot forward out there.
That's the big thing that a lot of people don't talk about, Emilio, is like it can be the worst team in the league. It don't matter. They may match up good against you. So you got to treat this like it's every other game. You go through the entire scouting process. You do your 4-game saturation plus your 2 head-to-head. All right, what are they doing here recently? If we have time on the backside of the show, I'm going to show those sacks that Caleb Williams took against the New England Patriots so we can kind of get an idea of what happened there. It's my understanding they were missing both tackles last week as well. And I think they're both listed as questionable as it sits right now. So if they get their tackles back, you expect that to get cleaned up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I know the offensive line of Chicago is bad, but at the same time, I don't care what NFL team it is. If you're missing your left tackle and your right tackle, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Oh, definitely. Add in center if you want, dude. That's a trifecta right there. But I think you're spot on with that. J Love, it is another game, obviously, against the Bears. Obviously, he knows that, Rodgers gave him ownership, all that stuff. But we do need to come out and win this game. It's not like we can, take them lightly, anything like that. And he knows that you just got to show up and play. That's why he got paid the big bucks. He's got to carry this team at this point. He's got to learn from those mistakes, like everything we talked about earlier. All that has to come together this week. And moving forward the rest of this year so that, like you said, we can decide, is it going to be, we're 50% on Love? Are we 75% or are we 100%? I think those are probably our ideally only 3 options at the end of this year. And I'd like to be at the 100% one.
I would too, man. I'd like to be at that 110%. And by the way, Tucker Kraft here on this show, I just had to pop it up here. Matt Schneiman tweeted out Tucker Kraft coming in hot. This dude just does everything 100 mile an hour, doesn't he?
Here's the guy.
Tucker's the man, dude. He's absolutely awesome.
Like, what is that for?
I don't know. I think they said, hey, get the camera out. Let's do something fun here. Because, again, I don't know where you see that within Matt's scheme where a tight end is going to any.
Okay, it kind of looks like he's going out on a flat and just looks like he's trying to tackle somebody. I don't even understand it. He came off the H flex or whatever and just blows this dude's ankles out.
To me, it looks like he's practicing diving on an inflatable mattress out on the creek. You know what I'm saying, man? Getting ready for that summer. He getting a jump on spring and summertime next year. But, yeah, it could be kind of one of those cut blocks on the edge or something, I'm guessing. But it is kind of interesting. Usually when you get these kind of drills, you want to go to Mike Wall's Twitter. I think it was last year you seen something like this. And Mike Wall was like, I don't know what the hell they're teaching this. I've never seen this taught before. What are we doing? But it's still – Tucker Kraft's going to make it look cool. There's no doubt about that. So –
I mean, I get it if he's trying to, maybe try to blow through the guy or drive the block through him and just threw his entire body into it. Maybe that's how they, send your entire body at him. And then when you get out in the game, you'll still be standing up.
I don't know.
Maybe that's where Ben Sims get the pancake.
All right, so here's the injury report in its entirety. You got Jair Alexander with the knee was limited. Kenny Clark with the toe was limited. Kingsley Enagbare with an elbow injury was full participation. Josh Jacobs with the quadricep was limited. Marshawn Lloyd with the ankle/hamstring was limited. Jordan Love with the groin, full participation, so he'll pretty much have no game status if everything goes as planned this week. You got Josh Myers with the wrist injury. He was limited. Evan Williams with the hammy was limited. And then Kobe Wooden with the shoulder was the only player that did not participate today in practice for the Packers. What do you think about that injury report there, man? Anything you want to hit on? Anything grab your attention? For me, the big thing is it's got to be our boy Josh Myers, right? Is he going to start or not? And if he doesn't start, you know what? I think this might be a good game to go, you know what? All right, let's let him rest up and get that wrist. Let's make sure we don't re-aggravate it and get ready for the following week. But knowing Josh Myers and how durable he has been, I wouldn't be surprised if he suits up.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I like that take. I think that it really just not worries me, but that we do have 3 D linemen on there. Obviously, Colby's still DMP, but Kingsley, his elbow and Kenny's toe. I'm cool with Kingsley's elbow. I'm glad it's not his knee and everything. Remember, he came out and had that injury, didn't have surgery, all that. And Kenny, we just need something out of him in the middle there. So I just hope that they're okay coming into this week. But like you said, man, Josh is going to be the telltale of where this team's going to be. And then if not, it's going to be Jordan Morgan, Sean Ryan, and Elton again, and see where that leads them. But they weren't terrible, right? We've been doing a great job protecting them. We just need to keep up the run blocking and get that snap figured out if it's not going to be Josh.
Yeah, Chicago Bears side, they've got Amagaji, offensive lineman with the calf injury, did not participate. Jaquan Brisker, defensive back with a concussion, did not participate. Tevin Jenkins, offensive lineman with the ankle, did not participate. Braxton Jones, offensive lineman with the knee, limited participation. Tarvarius Moore, defensive back with the concussion, did not participate. Noah Sewell, knee injury, limited participation. Montez Sweat, defensive lineman, ankle injury, did not participate. That's huge. Darrell Taylor, knee injury, limited participation. And Darnell Wright, offensive lineman, knee injury, limited participation. So, yeah, I mean, let's say they get two of those guys back that did not participate, right? You're still missing three significant bodies there on a team that's already underperforming. I feel comfortable saying, Emilio, our injury report looks a lot better than Chicago's, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, for losing to a 2-7 team and then coming out that beat up on the injury report, brutal. Kieran Amagaji, he was that tackle from Yale, right? When we were breaking down that draft board.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure he was. So it's just tough that their board looks like that. They have only 4 limiteds versus the rest of them DNPs and R1 DNP. So I'm good with it. I'm not wishing injury on anyone, but them having to go through that problem and try to figure out who's going to play, it's fine by me. They have a lot of time, but I mean, hey, do we want Tevin Jenkins back out there? I know we've had some good work against him, so
right.
I don't know.
And we'll see. Amagaji was the 14th ranked offensive tackle on our draft board this year.
I remember us taking him a couple times, thinking, late round kind of Rashid Paul.
Yeah, and that's kind of it's definitely in the top half too. You know what I mean? Top half of the tackles. So according to our board, pretty solid pick there. The fact that he may not play is it could be a significant factor for sure. So let's see. Let's go to the chat. We got Lance in the house. Is Jordan Morgan playing guard? Yes, he is, Lance. So what they were doing when the line was completely healthy is they were rotating Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan at right guard. And then when Josh Myers missed, they kicked Elton Jenkins over to center, and they put, to the best of my knowledge, Jordan Morgan at left guard, Sean Ryan at right guard last week. Is that how you remember it too, Emilio? I think that's how it lined up. So to answer your question, yes, Jordan Morgan, the Packers definitely see him as a guard. Now, you guys know that when we go through the quote-unquote requirements for the Packers front office and how they draft offensive linemen, they look for guards who have tackle experience. That's something they're notorious for, right? Outside of your Brian Bulagas and people like that you draft and go, okay, they're going to play tackle. I think they actually tried Bulaga at guard and it didn't work out either.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they'd give it a shot.
So they're looking for versatility. They're looking for those guys at the guard position that's athletic enough to get to the second level on duo plays, can also move laterally when you're running zone, and also can pull when you want to run a little power G or a little counter or something like that. So It's definitely important to get these guards, right, who have tackle experience, because obviously you got to be more athletic to play tackle than you do guard.
Which is why, isn't that what kind of gave us, a hold up at first, was because Jordan Morgan just played left tackle. Like, he didn't play anywhere else, I think. Like, all of his snaps at Arizona were basically at left tackle. And then when he came in, he got a lot of burn and a lot of reps at right guard, and Sean Ryan was going to be the swing guy. So that did throw me off a little bit when Elton went to center, and the first thing they did was put Jordan Morgan at left guard. But maybe he just feels more comfortable next to Rashid, or, and learning from him that way. Or I don't know, but it's, I get the kick step and everything would be on the same side, but if he's put all that time in working at right guard and trying to get a start at right guard, and maybe he struggled at right guard, maybe he actually is better at left guard and we just haven't seen it. But he just wants to be out there and play. So I think he's fine with, wherever they need him.
Yeah, Fred McFarley in the chat said, life dealing me some bad cards tonight. Jumped on to hit the like and wish you all well. Catch you next time. Fred, good luck with whatever you're dealing with, buddy. We're thinking about you, and we appreciate you swinging through, man. If you free up and you want to get in here and laugh at us a little bit, you jump right back in, pal. But hope everything goes well there. Let us know if we can do anything to help, bub. So we had McKinney in the locker room. Matt Schneidman actually tweeted out this video from McKinney's locker. It said Xavier McKinney on Caleb Williams. Quote, he's going to be a really good quarterback in this league. Let's see what X had to say about Caleb. That's what caught me so off guard about the DJ Moore comments, because this is what I'm seeing. Like from X, you don't ever hear him talking trash, right? Now, the comments, you've got ignorant Bears fans go, this is what Xavier McKinney does. He always runs his mouth. I'm like, I don't remember him ever being like that. But anyway, here's X on Caleb Williams.
He does well in the pocket. He can extend plays. He's actually pretty strong in the pocket. He has a good feel and awareness of when he's getting pressured, and he's able to kind of get out and kind of extend plays down the field. He's a young quarterback. He's growing. He's learning as he's going along. So, but he's going to be a really good quarterback. There you go.
The thing about Caleb, man, we beat this horse to death. We talk all the time about the arm talent. We were very, very vocal, and I probably shouldn't say we. You can agree if you want to, Emilio. I know in the draft process, I was very vocal that, listen, the dude's got a ton of talent. I've just never seen a quarterback come through the league that acts the way he acts and was successful in leading his team. Yeah, exactly. I immediately asked people, all right, name a quarterback who's acted like that in the past. And you've seen Emilio do the money sign, right? Johnny Manziel. This is Johnny Manziel won a Heisman. How do you do at the NFL level? Oh, he completely tanked. Got it, right? Another one was Baker Mayfield, right? Baker Mayfield. It was like, hey, Baker Mayfield, you remember him grabbing the goods there on the sideline against Kansas, and then planting the flag at Ohio State and all that stuff. And here's newsflash: I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan. I like Baker. He brings that edge from a leadership standpoint. You can tell his teammates love him, right? It's not about him. It's about just being edgy. I dig that. But again, did he work out in Cleveland? No. He's at his third stop. Now, it looks like it's coming together for him, and I think he's always shown that he can play at this level. It's just finding the right fit for him. So that argument doesn't shake out as far as for Caleb Williams. So when you name off all these different quarterbacks, you go, that guy was a little bit, flashy. That guy was a little bit – another one's Cam Newton, right? Cam Newton was – now, they say Cam Newton is a great locker room leader. I watched kind of him on the field, and I was always like, I don't know. I think some people – there you go, Prince in the chat. Perfect. I never looked at Cam like he's really, really bad for the locker room. It was just he was always about, let me score a touchdown and draw attention to me, right? And then you've seen in the Super Bowl, right, exactly. When you've seen in the Super Bowl, ball gets fumbled on the snap, guys, go watch it. Like, that tells you all you need to know about why he literally was, I ain't diving on that ball. And it's like, bro, you were one of the biggest guys on the field. You're a physical specimen. That's supposed to be one of the positives to you playing quarterback is you're durable. You can handle this type of stuff. It's the freaking Super Bowl. If you tear your shoulder up, you tore your shoulder up, leaving it all on the field to try to win a Lombardi. You know what I'm saying? That's another one that kind of comes to mind. So I'm just saying with Caleb Williams, I have never seen a quarterback that draws that kind of attention to himself. And again, I always post a GIF on Twitter every time they show something about Caleb being a bust or whatever. I think it's way, way, way too early to say he's a bust, right? It is. But I've been watching football for a very, very long time. Very long time. I'm 42 years old. I've been watching football since the late 80s, but my earliest solid memories, 91, 92, I remember kind of really getting into football. I can't think of another quarterback who in the last game of the season, which was essentially like a playoff game for USC, you lose that game, and the quarterback, the general, the team leader, the dude who's supposed to take the fall for his teammates, right? His immediate thought is, where's my mom? I'm going to go climb into her arms and cry on national television. And again, I'm a mama's boy. All right? Yep. I'm not sitting here trying to act like a tough guy. I'm saying the guys in that locker room, and not just USC, I'm talking about the pros now. My thought was, do you think they don't see that and go, what the hell is this guy about? He's going to lead us. He's going to help me get my next contract. he's going to help us advance to the playoffs and win the most important games on the schedule. Like, I can't see anybody in the locker room seeing that and going, man, I like that guy. He inspired me. He got on his mom's shoulders. It don't work like that. It just doesn't. And here's the thing. Fast forward, middle of the season, his rookie year, what's happening? It's all been confirmed, multiple sources. There were multiple teammates that went to the coaching staff and said they want Bagent to be the starting quarterback. It's happening. We called this from a mile away. And the people, and I won't name names, but the people that were in this chat earlier this year and defending Caleb Williams and acting like, oh, we're blowing this out of proportion, they're no longer in the chat. You don't see them. They don't swing through this time of year because the Bears are an absolute dumpster fire. And again, it doesn't mean the Packers are going to beat them. They could come out and boat race us on Sunday. That could happen. It doesn't change the fact that everything we said about Caleb Williams up to this point has been true. And maybe he does need to sit and kind of learn what it means to be a pro quarterback. You don't see Jordan Love acting like that. When Jordan Love scores a touchdown, he's not saying me, me, me. He sprints to the end zone and celebrates with his boys. You know what I mean? So
exactly it. No, it's exactly it. I think that he's had it easy right early in his life. Got through with that. Winning games, stuff like that. All that comes easy to him. Like you said, everyone's excited that he can throw sidearm and off angles. And I remember when they were mad you used to get screamed at if that ball, fell past 3/4 on your shoulder, right? Now it's all the rage. If you can throw sidearm, you're going to be elite, right? So that kind of stuff is getting out of hand. But if he can't control the locker room, if he can't, have your teammates just want to run through a wall for you, it's not going to end well in the long run. He could still be a great quarterback, but you're not going to have the locker room behind you. You're not going to have, half the fan base won't be behind you. Half of them will still be trying to scream because you're still, trying to get over 4,000 yards. The fact that you texted your punter and he's about to pass you and is already over 150 yards more than him. So it's like you lose. Coach is talking about it. The body language of him laying on the ground is a really bad look. Take that. Take the energy, the pouts after the play, the blank stares. Remember Jordan Love would always talk like, hey, I really just want to make sure that I'm aware of my reactions and how I'm going to be facing and how I'm going to be handling myself on the play, knowing that the cameras, the cameras are 100 yards away sometimes. I mean, they'll zoom in and see if you got sweat rolling down between your eyes. But that reaction is going to be played for everybody to see. It's going to be put back up on the big screen. If that was a bad play on your fault and you're out there screaming at your dude, or you're out there pouting because your 6 spin move behind the line of scrimmage didn't work, that's an issue. That's a problem that's going to keep repeating itself. And there's no wonder that they're the let me just get this number here for you. In 2024, they ranked 31st in sacks allowed per game at 4.1. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're getting themselves into their own trouble because he's trying to hold the ball, trying to do too much. And if they can't do that, then they go back to what Justin Fields ran for the past 3 years is screens, bubbles, and dump offs. So it looks like my high school team when we were 0-5, right? And just like trying to get a win. Just give me something, coach.
Exactly. For those of you listening on the pod, that's going to do it for hour 1. We'll see you on the other side for hour 2. We appreciate y'all. So let's continue on with the Caleb Williams talk. And to comment on what Coach Lynn said here, the body language of him laying on the ground is a really bad look. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, go back and watch it. Go to Twitter. You can find it. He gets hit or sacked. He's laying on the ground. And as he's laying on the ground, he kind of throws his arms up like, what do y'all want me to do? What am I supposed to do type thing. The defender helps him up and pats him on the head like, good little boy. And it's just like, your teammates see that stuff. Yeah. You me tell you what should have happened right there? As he patted him on the head, Caleb should have turned around and said, this is worth 15. I'm going to knock this dude on his ass, and my teammates are going to come help me, and we're going to try to get something going, right? Happened with LaFleur earlier in the year. This is a real thing, and maybe it's a baseball background in me. Managers in Major League Baseball, they know when their team's flat, all right, I don't care if this is a ball or a strike. If he calls it a ball, I'm going to argue it's a strike. If he calls it a strike, I'm going to argue it's a ball. I'm going to go out here and get ejected and show my team my damn head's in the game. We got to get something going, right? And it's that type of stuff that makes your team, it galvanizes your team into think, okay, look, this is our guy. Let's get behind him. He doesn't have any of that. He just doesn't have it. And DJ Moore damn sure isn't bringing it. Who on that team, who on that offense is that spark plug? Who's that guy that's bringing that juice? Your starting tackles are out, right? DJ Moore's quitting on plays, and Caleb Williams is laying on the field going, I don't know. And again, when I seen him do that, all I could see was him in his mom's arms in the stands. That's all I could see.
Dude, it's like imagine you coming into work every week and you got you're doing the same thing, it's same mundane routine tasks, and then you got a project on Friday, or you're hitting the end of the quarter, whatever, you're trying to make your numbers and everyone's just flat. No one had their coffee, everyone showed up late. I mean, like, how does it feel coming to practice every week? Like, dude, we have just gotten worse ever since that Washington game. Like, we have seen no improvement. There's no life basically since that. Is how are we going to get anywhere with this team right now? You don't see it. It's not like it's just going to appear. Someone has to do that. Like you said, during lacrosse, football, whatever, I used to take a lot of penalties on lacrosse because I would just try to go and lay somebody out just to set the tone. Like, I will come clear across and just take that dude's head off if that's what we have to do. You get the whole sideline sparked up. I mean, I had my coach screaming at me, put me at the end of the bench one time, kids coming down, high-fiving you, all that, don't talk to him type thing. But that's where you get a little bit of spark. Then you get somebody out there and just, fire them up. If it's not there, you gotta bring it.
Yep. I agree, man. Greg Ross said this didn't age well. Caleb Williams texts his new teammate punter, Tory Taylor, quote, hey, you're not going to punt too much here, after the Bears drafted Taylor in the 4th round of the NFL draft. Now, we showed a stat last night. I already deleted the screen grab, but Tory Taylor, Emilio, has more punt yards than Caleb Williams has total yards on the year.
Total. That includes running? I thought it was just passing.
It said total on the graph.
Wow. Because I thought he was 150 more than Caleb in punts, just passing yards. Dude, the fact that he's about to break $4,000 in punts and Caleb's not even going to break 3,500. But I will say I did pull a Tory Taylor in Ultimate Team the other night. So I do have a 91 punter now. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen Caleb in Ultimate Team. I mean, nobody wants his card. It's not like he's going for 1.5 mil.
Oh man. The Madden talk has officially entered the chat.
Madden and college football. The college football Tory Taylor was a legend card, a 91 legend card. And when have I seen Caleb? When they haven't made a card for Caleb Williams? Come on now.
Oh man, you go in the marketplace to try to sell that Tory Taylor card. Somebody going to offer you a bag of Doritos. You know what I mean? Like, just saying, sponsor the show. But that's hilarious, man. You're hopped up over a punter on Madden Ultimate Team. I love
Unbelievable.
It.
I mean, that's probably what they feel like. They're probably wishing that they got something like that out of Caleb.
Ron Samble in the chat says DJ Moore's mad because Roma Dunze gets to pick out the fingernail colors.
Dang. Maybe they can get matching ones, or they all go. Maybe they have a nail salon in Chicago they all go to before a game.
Exactly. Oh man, since we were talking about Caleb, let's call an audible here real quick, and let's look at some of these sacks. That sound good to you, man?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I was just talking about that. Like I said before, they are 31st at 4.1 per game. I tell you who's tied for the first in the league. Three-person tie between Buffalo, Baltimore, and Green Bay at 1.3 per game.
There you go. There you go.
That's all it is, man. You got to build that wall around Jay Love.
I love it when you say build the wall. It cracks me up. All right, so here are all the sacks that Caleb Williams took, all 9 of them against New England. Again, this isn't the go, look how bad they are. Let's what'd you say?
Just the way you said that. Here's all the sacks, all 9 of them.
I think it was 9, man, if I remember right. So this isn't the go, look how bad the Bears suck. Let's try to understand how are they hitting home, okay? And the one thing I want you guys to key in on, some of these sacks is on the O-line, don't get me wrong, but there's some that are like, he's back there for 6 seconds. A stat that I mentioned yesterday got read on the air there at on the McAfee show yesterday is where I heard it from, that he leads the league in sacks in which quarterbacks hold the ball for more than 4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible, absolutely horrible. But let's key it up here. This is a sack here against New England. And let's see if we can pick up on what happened here. You see him at the line. They're in a nasty split. Looks like a 12 personnel to me, right? 12 nasty out of the ace. A little sift block. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's unbelievable that he holds the ball as long as he does. Let's see what second mark here real quick. Ball snapped at the 5-second mark. Now, look up top here. Right there's your safety valve.
Yep.
You got a little climb here. You could try to thread the needle if you want, but you got to get the ball. He's looking right at him. Hammer that thing in there. Unless it's a 3rd and long here. Let's see what the down and distance was. 2nd and 7. That's the perfect time to just hammer that little out route. You see what I'm saying? Hammer that. Maybe he can make a guy miss, move the chains. Instead, again, 5 seconds. Let's see when he gets sacked. Boom. So it was 5 to 10. So he held it for 5 seconds on that play.
And with that out route, and the thing was, they had a 3-person route. That tight end didn't leak until the very end. I mean, that's bad. You gotta dump that. Take your yards right there. 3 yards is open in the NFL. 3 yards of separation is open. You got to take that.
Let's see about this out route over here too. Look at the bottom of the screen. You're going to see someone work and out. It almost looked like a pivot. Maybe it was a choice sit, and then he's going to work out. So like right here, he's in trouble. Even right there, he's not even. If he's getting hit and trying to throw this, and you go, hey man, he tried to do what he could. He's not even anticipating this guy to break off that route and run to the space. That could have been a huge play. So
you run it back one more time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to see. So he's coming out here. We got a deep drop. 1, 2, 3. That's what, a 5-7 step drop. Long play action. And no, once you hit the top of your step, you look left, center up, square up. He reset. Boom. 2, 3. Dude, that's got to be gone. You got to just huck that thing.
And you look at that and you go, that ain't on the offensive line. Like they held up great.
Right. You know, that whole time he's sitting there holding right trigger, he's ready to run out of there. You know what I mean? Ready to peel out of there, but it's not happening, dude. You're waiting too late. You're seeing ghosts, it seems like.
Right. Here's a sack on 3rd and 7. All right. They're in New England territory. These are the ones that'll kill you. You're in field goal range, and you're going to take a 7-yard loss and making this field goal even more difficult, or even potentially knocking you out of field goal range here. Okay. So let's watch this play. Let's see, kind of look at what we're lined up in here. To me, this looks like that's an awful big receiver there. I'm sure that is a receiver. This looks like 11 personnel to me. Yep. So it's 11. They're going to go Trey right. So it's bunch right. Trey bunch right is the call. You're going to go T weak. Let's see what Caleb does on this play. Ball snapped. Yeah, dude, you got to get rid of that freaking football. Like, how many seconds was that one, Emilio? That was well over 2.5. I know that. Let's see. Let's look at the second mark here. All right. Let's see. Give it a second. Sorry on the pod. We're trying to get an idea of exactly what's going on. So it's snapped at 13 seconds. And Caleb Williams is sacked at 17 seconds. So 4 seconds he held on the football.
That's brutal. You see them, they're all in a NASCAR package. Everyone's standing up. They even flip sides. That whole time right here, he runs motion. Pop that play off right here. They're trying to figure out, who's going here? Let me flip sides. Okay, everybody, let's make sure the Patriots are set.
You guys ready now?
Yeah, like, what are we doing, dude? If you have 2 dudes crisscrossing over your one tech, that thing needs to be snapped.
And look here, I think that might be DJ Moore, number 2, but
he's got a step.
Get rid of the freaking football. Let that thing go. Just let it go. Look right here, working back across the middle. Now, by then, he maybe didn't have time to get rid of it here. Let's see, it's 13, so he's going to pivot. Yeah, you can anticipate that too. A little touch pass over top of that backer. Yeah. He's just playing scared, man. There's no two ways about it.
Who was it? I think it was Lombardi was saying it's 3 games. He hasn't had a touchdown or a pick in 3 games.
Right.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah. Now, right here, you get some immediate penetration, right? Play action. There's the penetration. Step up. You see, he moves in the pocket to run. He doesn't move in the pocket to throw. You know what I'm saying?
His head goes down. Once he sees pressure, his head's down. He's not looking upfield and moving.
And look at this little leak off to the right here. Right here. Like, if you're aware at the end of this play, right, step up, dump it right there. See your guy
Yep.
right there. There's just none of that. It's just let me try to get out of this crap hole that we've created.
That's brutal. That's terrible. That's I mean, where's our man Buck? That is just
That's terrible.
thank you.
All right, let's move on to another one here. This set you're going empty.
Oh,
All right, this is going to be lovely, right? And all right, now you're going to shift to all right. So you came
all
out.
right, bring in Max Protect. We'll keep
came out
7
11.
in.
You went 11 empty, and then you brung them back in, and now you're in a double sidecar. Looks like your tight end's on the right there. Okay. New England's seen something they got real happy about. You see them jumping up and down. Yeah, that's bad, bro. That's
You know what I like? That right there, that's what Coop did. I mean, that's a scrape, that's a thing, but I like how they're basically in NASCAR and the Bears are confused, man. They are honestly, I know that they had backup tackles in and stuff, but you get everybody standing up, you get 1 or 2 scrapes or ET stunts, it's over. They're having issues.
Bro, double A gap mug and Tampa 2. That's what you're going to see this week. That's going to be the recipe. Now, here's what's beautiful. People are going to be pissed because we might not come out and get a bunch of sacks, but you're going to be playing 97 touch or 55 touch or 90 touch.
Yep.
Occupy the double team, get back because Caleb's going to want to try to rush. You've seen him. He's tried to rush up the middle almost every single play here.
And we don't want Danny, we don't want a Tommy DeVito game.
Tommy Cutlets, right?
Yeah, we don't need that.
All right, let's move it along. So here we are in, it looks like 11 personnel. Again, we're going to settle in at Trey Wright, T Week.
But look at how the Patriots are lined up, though, man. Like every single time they've got a sack, they have 5 to 7 guys standing on the line, and you got X down right there. That's either X or that's going to be Key coming right, or that could be even Evan. Evan's chased him down once or twice before. He knows what it's like. He's trying to chase a chicken in the field, right?
It's the same look we showed with McKinney on his blitz right here. You've got the safety rode down, right? And again, watch Caleb. Caleb's got to know what the protection here. If you've got, let's see what the protection is. Hindsight's 2020, right? Okay, so you got the T staying in, right? So you're going T safe right here, which means you've got a 6-man protection. Mm-hmm. And how many are they bringing? Looks like they're bringing one more than 6, right? They're bringing 7 here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with a 6-man. Caleb's got to know which guy he's getting, and it's going to be this defender off the edge here. So he's got to know, listen, it's a simple arithmetic. A dumb redneck born and raised in Kentucky who lives in Tennessee can figure out 7 is more than 6. Someone is coming untouched, right? Mm-hmm. That's what's going to happen here. So you got to know where your hot is, right? Ball snap. You got to know where you're going with the football here. I don't even see a hot read on this. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even think. Look, they had to cover one over the top. I don't even think they ended up bringing. They still. I think they had enough players. I think they had as many blockers as they had, and the running back takes the inside guy, which you're probably supposed to do in that. You take the most dangerous dude busting through the line, but that top guy ends up staying in coverage. Dude, you just get a linebacker blitz up the middle. He's got to accept that. The tackle and the guard got crisscrossed, and it was over, dude. You're paying attention to what's going on in the middle. Let the dude right out the outside.
Yeah, and it looks like one of his own players ends up on top of him here too. Look at this; he's at the bottom of the pile. Oh man, so it's a mess in Chicago. That's the moral of the story here, guys. It's a mess.
It's a good
39?
Look. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good look right here. So yeah, let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we're bringing 7. Let's see if one drops out. Yeah, you're bringing 7. You get a little TE right here off the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Caleb, I mean, he doesn't know whether to crap or go blind, so he closed one eye and farted. That dude is.
And all it took right there was 95. Was 95 pulling that double team from the center guard, pulls it across, and then that allowed that linebacker scrape to come right behind him.
Yep. All right, one more, and then we'll move along here. We'll hit on a couple other topics. But just wanted to kind of get an idea of, all right, what did New England do to cause problems here? The majority of it is blitzing, right? You haven't seen a 4-man rush yet. They're bringing the house again. You see Caleb, his first reaction isn't, where's the open receiver? It's let me run around in the pocket.
It's let me cook. Will you guys just go out there and run your routes and just let me cook, please?
Yeah, it's crazy. Another 7 yards lost there. So
I bet that's what he gets in the huddle. All right, you know what? Just block this time. All right, get over. Let me just cook. Give me the ball. and get open.
It's bad news, no doubt about it, man. And
They
this
got
is
a
at
blocker
home.
on either side. You got a chipper on either side. Okay. All right. And we still let pressure in.
There's just no answer to the equation. And
Look
I think
even the running back. Look at the running back at the end there. Just give me the last 3 seconds. He looks at his tackle. Dude, what are you doing? How'd you let that over here? Turned around. Bro, you really let him get sacked again?
look at Caleb. Caleb's just like, man, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Anyway, it's a dumpster fire, boys. It's a dumpster fire. So one of the players that he's going to have to deal with this Sunday, hopefully, is going to be Evan Williams returning from injury. I hope he can go on Sunday because he has been the big difference maker in this defense. Matt Schneidman tweeted, John Miller of NBC 26 tweeted this out. Safety Evan Williams has yet to experience the Packers versus Bears rivalry. However, a dinner with Green Bay legend Leroy Butler, God, I love it, gave him some perspective on how truly big it is. Leroy is on the board now, right? And I love that board in Green Bay is comprised of former Packer players. There's a ton of them there. There's successful business owners and stuff too, but they got football minds in and around the building. Mark Murphy, who's the president, CEO, former player. There was people I know in the comments saying Ryan Poles actually played ball. He played college ball, whatever. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about older guys put in leadership positions where this can trickle down through the entire organization, right? Yep. You got a Hall of Famer in Leroy Butler on that board. You got Mark Murphy, who, by the way, he won a Super Bowl, I think. Didn't he win a Super Bowl that year in the strike year? He led the league in interceptions as a safety. He went on to be the athletic director at Northwestern, if I remember correctly. So he's been in leadership roles both as a player and as a college director, and then he steps into that. Everybody like to look at Mark Murphy like he's just this bumbling idiot, and he's the farthest thing from it. One of the most successful guys to run through this organization. And I'm telling you, man, a lot of the success the Packers have come from Mark Murphy doing what he's done there, running the whole show.
65%. That's what we.
So again, you got all this leadership in place, and here you got a rookie who's already off to a great start. What's he doing, Emilio? He getting time with Leroy Butler. This is awesome. Let's see what he had to say here at his locker.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, you try to get, just a piece of the history, try to feel, those emotions going into the game. I was actually talking to Leroy Butler the other day. I had dinner with him, and he was kind of filling me in on just like, all the rivalry, how far back it goes, and just the, the intensity that you feel on the field when, us two, face off. So, you kind of just try to, hone that energy, and so that when you get on the field, you can kind of just let it all out. No, yeah, definitely.
Love to see it, man. You can't, Emilio, that's something that you can't like. A player's got to want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and when you talk about maturity, that's what I think of when I see Evan Williams. It ain't just this one comment, but remember back, what did they say? After the Packers drafted him, he crushed the interviewing process, right? Mm-hmm. Check it off the list. You hear him reaching out and grabbing dinner with a Hall of Famer who knows what it's like to play in Green Bay and specifically this week, play against the Bears in this huge rivalry. Check it off the list. Remember when he forced the fumble earlier in the year and the DBs, the entire defense went down and celebrated? What did he do? He went straight to the bench and sat down. Telling you, dude, we're going to look up in 2 years and go, this dude's the leader of this defense. It's going to happen.
Yeah, he's a lunch pail kind of guy. Absolutely. We need to bring that back, get him the gold chain, the dog. When you go into Georgia, they put the spike shoulder pads on. That's the kind of stuff he does, but it's a lead by example type. And you hear it in all of his interviews. It's not even just it's not even just probably the one that he crushed with the Packers. Every time the dude gets in front of a mic, he speaks well. He knows what's going on. He's not, in the clouds. He's not, in the dumps. It's right. He really brings that right attitude every day. Not worried about the money, just wants to play football, be as best he can, and just live it up. And like you said, getting that experience, that time with Butler, man, you got to want that a little bit. You can't just poke around and be like, hum-hoing about it. To make that happen, you got to have determination, dedication, get up out of bed, whatever it is, early morning, get an extra lifting in the morning so you can go have dinner with him at night type thing. And that's what this team does, man, but especially Evan.
Yeah, and one of the keys to leadership is like what you hit the nail on the head. It's you never get too high, you never get too low, right? And I remember when Aaron Rodgers took over as the starter in Green Bay. This is way back in the let's say it's probably around 2009, 2010ish when they won the Super Bowl. They talked about him in the huddle. He never got rattled. He was always just calm, cool, collective, and it was just like that. That's what you're looking for in a leader. Now, as Aaron got older, obviously, he got a lot more antsy, he got a lot more ornery, hateful, right? You can see him constantly getting upset and frustrated. But that type of stuff from a young player is just so rare that you see from Evan Williams. Like Javon Bullard, a little bit high strung. And that's not to say that he can't be a great player and he's not going to be and all that. But when you get a young player that responds that way, man, it's huge. The majority of the battle's fought.
I honestly think he's got a lot of patience built in, that he's just calm, cool, collected. And it's, he's just able to stay even keeled. That I think is the most key thing. You're never going to blow up. You're not sitting there hot headed. Like you said, you're not going to just explode on somebody, tweak out on your teammate, go try to take your helmet off and smash his helmet in just because, you missed a pass or he hit you after the whistle or something like that. It's like, okay, all right, bet I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to store that one away. We're going to go back at it. It's going to be another, between the whistles kind of fight. Yeah.
Crossfire in the chat. Good to see you, pal. Says Clayton, how do you think the offense will look going forward? Well, you had one of the more dominant offenses in the league, so you don't want to change too much, right? Yeah. But the thing that comes to mind for me, if Jordan Love truly is healthy now, early on, the MCL kept them from going to ace formation more because of Jordan having to bend his knees, right? And then lo and behold, he tweaks the groin. Same exact problem. You got to limit how much you're under center in ace. And what I mean by that is, think about it. In shotgun, if you got a bum knee or you got a sore groin, in shotgun, you're standing up, you're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you have to go under center, you're bending both of those legs, both of those knees, right? I think we'll see more ace sets. Now, here's what's cool. You could tell LaFleur shifted, which is something we called in the offseason. He shifted the pistol, which essentially is an ace set. It's a back set, but you're still in the gun, right? It's a shallow gun, running back directly behind the quarterback. We talked about it to nauseum, right? That the reason it's so valuable to have ace over a sidecar is both stretch plays are on the table, right?
Yeah.
Both plays.
And I honestly feel like you can sell that play action. I mean, obviously just because of the stretch, but even if you're just turning your side completely, you know what I mean, and getting that ball way out there, shooting it way out, instead of just, you're standing up at shotgun, it's put the ball out in front of you 2 feet or a foot and just pull it back in or give it off. Here, you're at least showing all the linebackers see it over here. It's on this side. And you could even sprint out the same side. You fake it. You know what I mean? But just getting it out there and making the defense commit to seeing it.
Yeah, it's funny, too. I hadn't even seen this comment till you pulled it up. That's exactly what he said. Do you think we'll do more under center? Yeah. I really do. And what Emilio is saying is play action in pistol is more effective than gun, right? Normal gun sidecar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But play action under center is more effective than pistol, right? So now that Love is healthier, I think you'll see some more of that. It's going to open up the play action even more.
Mm-hmm.
It also allows the running back to gain momentum on their way to the line of scrimmage, right? It's absolutely huge. When you're in the gun, it's a quick shuffle to the right or left, grab the ball, and then you've got to get going upfield. Out of ace formation or anything under center, that running back's getting a run and go at the line, right? And to me, that better suits Josh Jacobs than starting from a stop position and shuffle and go, although he's proven he can do that. You get him under ace or running out of ace a little bit more, single back.
Yeah, Josh is definitely more Derrick Henry downhill than Christian McCaffrey, joystick side to side type stuff. That's the truth. He has it, but I would much rather have him get 2-3 steps going downhill before any contact or before he has to make that cut. And two, I think it will eventually open up the running game a little bit more. If we can turn his back, then it's like, okay, if you run that handoff, stretch right 3 times in the first quarter, you kind of space them out 3 times. Second quarter early, 2nd and 2 or something, you run that same stretch, hit the shot play, and then the rest of the game, that stretch might be a little bit more open now because of that last time you ran that shot play off of it, or you hit the dragon wheel, and that wasn't the dragon wheel on a fake stretch type thing. So we seen our explosive plays come off of play action, but it's being able to get there and sell it. We haven't been able to have that with Love being as injured as he's been.
Yeah, and Matt LaFleur is still scheming these guys open. Like, you've still seen a lot of slot cross. You're seeing crossers, those double crossers, right? We've seen those. That's where you hit Tucker Kraft on the 66 or 67 yarder up the sideline, right?
Yep.
That was a crosser concept.
Jaden Reed.
You've seen the dragon wheel, right?
Yep.
Like you were talking about. The thing that you haven't seen here lately is dagger. So if we're back under center, and this would be my answer to your question, Crossfire. If we're back under center and we're doing play action, look for that 5-step deep drop, play action, dagger. And what I mean by dagger is imagine 2 receivers on one side of the formation, okay? The outside receiver is your 1, the inside receiver is your 2. In a dagger concept, your 2 will run a go route and your 1 will run a dig underneath it, okay? And again, that's just a 2x2 set you can run that out of, right? Now, another portion of dagger concept is if you want to go 12 personnel. In this last game, they showed 12 personnel where they went like a strong right look, both tight ends on one side of the formation out of ace.
Yep.
You can also run a dagger concept where your receiver on each side, this is how you can run dagger. It's the same. Dagger concept is real simple. Clear out route, and it can be a shot route. It can be a shot play, and then a dig or a crosser underneath. So you're clearing it out for the crosser, or they're hammering down on the crosser or the dig, and that's going to open up single coverage on the shot play. So you can do that out of 12 personnel, 12 ace, and run it across the formation, meaning this guy can run a dig or vice versa, or a go or vice versa, go route, and then across the formation, a deep dig, right? That's dagger concept as well. That's more of what Shane Waldron did in Seattle. They had a lot of success with the dagger concept from the outside receivers, essentially running on the entire field, not just one side of the formation. But he had a ton of – that's what got him the OC job in Chicago, was what he did with Geno Smith in Seattle, running that dagger concept. So, and you can run dagger off play action like a waggle or something too, right, Emilio? You can still set that up. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and like you said, with the 12, deuce or whatever, you got a tight end on either side. And it doesn't have to be just a go, right? I mean, we can run a real deep or skinny post or a real skinny corner. It doesn't have to be just a street clear out route to get it out of there. But I do love that because you open up that second window. And then like you said, let's get a dagger on one side so we can beat, cover 2, cover 3, whatever we want to. That way we have a backup on the other side that's, maybe a man beater or something like that. We can't just put them in a bind and say, all right, we're only going to have cover 3 beaters this entire play. If not, you got to can out of it before Jordan and see all that. Like, I love that Matt doesn't put them in that type of situation.
Completely agree. And the other thing you can do with like out of that 12 personnel is you go stretch, and then run a waggle out of it, right?
Oh.
You go waggle. And here's what you can do. You can have extra protection with the both tight ends playing a leak play. And what I mean by that is you got the dagger concept. Let's say your 1 on the left, your 1 left is running the go, and your 1 on the right is running that deep crosser, right?
Yep.
So you waggle out left, you get your quarterback to where early on he looks, if he's got single coverage, set your feet, load that thing up and throw it, right? Mm-hmm. If you got bracket coverage, you got maybe 2 over the top covering that go route, then you continue to roll left, right? And as you're rolling left, you're working the crosser, and then guess what happens? The protection's done its job. Now those tight ends can leak out, and you can have a little – almost like a drive concept out of a leak play where both tight ends with a drive concept, what you got is the 2, which is the inside – let's say the 2 tight ends on that side. Without having the telestrator up, it's hard to explain this. Hopefully I'm doing well enough here. But let's just focus on the tight ends. The inside tight end will run a shallow cross, and the other tight end will leak out and run a dig. That's called drive. You're basically attacking at levels across the field on an inside trajectory. So you can throw that into a leak play. You've got them on the edge. A lot of times on those waggle plays too, what they'll do is the tackle will block down and the guard will pull out. So you got that extra protection to give you more time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I like seeing that because that also kind of sells the run a little bit too. If you're gonna, if you're gonna either, Waggle's probably weak side run, right? If we're handing it off right, we're gonna peel out left. But even if you're doing a sprint, you could do the same thing if you're sprinting right and the plays to the right, pull that guard, or even pull the center. We've seen Josh Myers pull all the way around if he doesn't have someone head up over him and get across. But and like you said, being able to run the waggle, we haven't been able to. How much are we going to ask Jordan Love to open the face of his chest, running left, and throw that ball? And when he did that one throw, he landed on a little funky and didn't like the way it felt. We didn't like the way it looked afterwards. So we can't ask him to do that a bunch of times if he's injured, and then we're going to be upset with him. We're going to be upset with Matt, all that. So I'm just happy that knock on wood, he's feeling better and just ready to kind of open up the offense a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think you're in a good place as a team here. You got to correct the mistakes. The top priority, protecting the freaking football. And number 2, let's clean up some of the penalties. Not all the penalties. Let's have 2 less penalties a game. That can be a huge difference, right? You can't, Rome wasn't built in one day. You can't just all of a sudden all these penalties are going to disappear, but just start chipping away at, hey, let's just get a couple fewer every game, that type of thing. Let's hit the Patreon group here before we wrap up. I appreciate everybody in the Patreon group. If you want to join our Patreon group, scan the QR code in the upper right. That'll send you to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. You can join one of the 3 tiers in there. That'll get you entered into the contest to win giveaways this season. We're going to be giving away another autographed Romeo Doubs rookie card this week for the post-game show after the Bears game. That was donated by United Bates, the man, the myth, the legend. There you go. So we appreciate him supporting the show. And again, if you join that, we got a bunch of different chats set up. We got a section that's called questions for the show. So anybody who's got a question or a comment for the show, you can put it in there. It works the same as a super chat because you're supporting the show. We want to prioritize that. We appreciate y'all. But Nick McSwain with the first one says, "Sup, fellas? I've heard a lot of talk about Love not being under center and how it's detriment to the team. Was wondering what are the pros and cons of shotgun versus under center versus pistol. What are teams generally trying to accomplish when they line up in these formations?" We kind of hit on it already, Nick. We'll just real quick, Emilio, I'll give my take. You give your take. The pros and cons out of shotgun. Obviously, shotgun, the quarterback's got his eyes down the field quicker, and it's a little bit less stressful situation for a passing play, right? Mm-hmm. That's the pro of the shotgun, in my opinion. The con would be it limits what you can do out of the running game. You could still run counter out of the gun and run left or right, run weak side, but most of the time, like 75 to 85% of the runs are going across the quarterback's face with that sidecar. So it makes you a little bit one-dimensional in that regard. Under center versus pistol, we kind of talked about it. When you run play action and running game in general is more effective, in my opinion, from under center. Then it's second most effective out of pistol. It's third most effective out of normal gun when you got a sidecar or a double sidecar there. So that's what they're trying to accomplish at the line, in my opinion. Emilio, you got anything you want to add to that, Bob?
Yeah, pros for shotgun would be RPOs are a lot easier if you're looking at, man in front of you, read options, that type of stuff. It's all kind of right there in front of you. But like you said, cons, maybe your drops are different. You're not taking a 5-step drop or, a 7 or 8, 7-9 step drop out of shotgun. You're already 5 yards back. So it's, maybe 2 hitch, step, quick footwork and get the ball out. And then, like you said, pistol and under center, you can turn your back to the team, or under center, definitely you're turning your back to the defense, which is, potentially a con, but also could be a pro. You sell it. Really remember, Aaron Rodgers, all them, Brett Favre, really duck down, put your entire body into it, sell that whole thing, stick the ball way out there. And, you can really make those work, but I think they both have their pros and cons and places to be, but we need to be able to run both of them. And that's where I think it's, kept us left-handed, or tied one behind our back a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. Cheesehead Murph in the Patreon group said, Watson had a down year last year in my eyes. Wicks had an up year last year. This year, it seems to have reversed. If it came down to it, I know they do different things. Which wide receiver would you keep, and which one would you be willing to let go? P.S. I want to keep both. Laughing emoji. So it's a tough question. It's a great question, though, because the reality is you can't keep all these guys. For me, it's you want a certain type of receiver. You want different types of receivers in your receiving core, right? So let's compare their two archetypes, if you will. Christian Watson, size, speed, athleticism. He's that deep threat, right?
Yep.
Dontavion Wicks, separation with his route running ability. So what you got to ask yourself is, on the roster, if you had to choose between those two, where can you make up for letting that player go with another receiver on the team? I personally don't think there's another receiver on the team other than Jaden Reed that's a deep threat. That's just me personally, right? Romeo Doubs is kind of your boundary X. Christian Watson's your deep threat. Jaden Reed is your quintessential flyer / slot receiver. So where's Dontavion Wicks come in at? He can run routes and get open out of the boundary X, right? He can also play slot. We've seen that last year. He was pretty effective at slot. I think he had the highest passer rating when targeted last year from Jordan Love out of the slot, even more so than Jaden Reed. But you got the drops issue. Christian Watson does not have a drops issue, in my opinion. He doesn't. Now, people were giving him hell over misjudging and misplaying that ball at Lambeau the other night. Guys, the wind was howling 20 miles an hour and it was piss pouring in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
That type of stuff's going to happen, right?
I mean, would you rather have that, or would you rather have CeeDee Lamb getting hit in the numbers, getting blinded by his own stadium?
And then Jerry Jones going absolutely off after. Did you hear him? Oh,
no, what'd he say? What'd he say? I missed it.
For you, those of you who don't know, the stadium in Dallas, here we are off top. We're going way over.
My bad.
It's all good. No, this is funny. So the way they built the stadium, they got the glass windows, and they got the sun setting right through the windows. So the sun,
I bet it's gorgeous. I bet it's beautiful.
Yeah, as a fan, right? The receivers are staring right into the sun as they're trying to catch a pass in the end zone. And they mentioned it to Jerry. Yeah, CD said that the sun got in his eyes. What are you there? And then Jerry snapped their head around and said, "What, you think we don't know where the damn sun sets in our own stadium?" Bro, I love it. Jerry Jones is on his way out. And I'm just telling you right now, as a fan of the NFL, I'm going to miss that old geezer. Because I love that he loves football, and I love that he says the stupidest stuff. It's just great. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you guys, if you get tired of our content, just find anything Jerry Jones related as far as an interview, especially after a bad loss. They're interviewing him next to an elevator coming out of his suite. And I'm telling you, but he's quit. He's fit to be tied. Let me tell you, you think we go down to the pond to kill a frog, the gun goes off, shoot your dog. That's what's wrong with our offense. That's the type of stuff he says. It's hilarious, man. I love it.
And I remember I was looking for it was it 2 weeks ago after that loss? I don't even think he called in that week to that radio station. It's like, you know what, I'm not even going to talk to him about it right now. There's no point. But I could see a couple bucket trucks backing up to the stadium this next week or two and just put some tin up on those windows or something.
Do something. Cover it with TVs or something, right? Holmes in the chat. Jerry sucks even more than this show. Yes, he does. So to answer Cheesehead Murph's question, I'm choosing right now. I'm choosing Christian Watson over Dontavion Wicks. That's just me personally. I think that Romeo can create separation. I think Jaden Reed can, but with what Watson's got with his height advantage, his top end speed, we've seen it earlier in the year. People forget it so quick. Him running that deep crosser where they was just they couldn't touch him. Right. I'm choosing Watson over Wicks. How about you?
I think I'm gonna have to go the same way, but not that I wouldn't pick Wicks because he has had some, he's produced for us, gotten some touchdowns and stuff like that. But I think that having Watson being able to stretch the field, push safeties, all that opens up a lot more for the underneath receivers. And if he were to open up something underneath, I think that you could fill that with, maybe a Bo Melton or something like that, or a Malik Heath. I would also take Watson because he can block more. It's not that Wicks hasn't been working. We've seen him grinding out there to get him taken care of, but it's something that Matt's been in there. He has, man, and it's got to be something in the offense. It's got to be part of that whole wide receiver core. They got to accept it, or else it's never going to work.
By the way, guys, we got a new drop in here. Just play it for you once.
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
All right, so next Patreon question there. Thank you, Murph. Appreciate you, buddy. Randy Cleaver says, what do you think is hurting us most? Jordan throwing picks, drop passes, or penalties? Yes. The answer is yes. For me, in this order, Randy, they're all important, but in this order, Jordan throwing picks, top priority. It's got to stop. right? If you're gonna go on a run in the playoffs or make the playoffs and go on a run in the playoffs, the interceptions have got to stop. Next would be drop passes for me. Then it would be penalties in that order. They're all three important, but in that order, I can stomach the penalties if the drops stop and the interceptions stop. What about you?
Honestly, I think I'm going to be opposite of you. I'm going to say penalties first because those are mental mistakes that are like lapses. You know what I mean?
Fixable, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's where it's like that stuff pisses me off. Like Matt needs to be running sprints at the end of practice if we have, another 10, 15 penalty
Heard it from
games.
a fan right here.
Yeah, I think those need to be cut out and be done with it. Love's going to keep throwing picks. It's not like he's going to stop. It's not like he's going to have 0 the rest of the year. So right. Another one's going to happen. Drop passes are going to happen, but I think those get cleaned up a little bit more over time versus if you let like a penalty problem drag out over the year, it's going to stay there pretty much the whole year. If you don't nip it in the butt type thing.
Yeah. And then let's see here. Chris Nichols with the final one says, Clayton, when it comes time to start looking into draft prospects, I'd love to see a deep dive on Tacario Davis. So we had another person ask the other day about a defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. So that's all of the Patreon questions. Appreciate everybody contributing there. I'm going to end the show real quick with the consensus big board and just hit those two that they talked about. Again, this isn't a deep dive, Chris, obviously, but this will just kind of give you an idea of where they are sitting currently. He asked about Tacario Davis, cornerback, and where that's at right now at the moment, as far as the consensus big board, they've got Tacario Davis in the number 39 spot. He has peaked at 21, okay? So he is the 5th best corner in the draft as it sits right now. They got Travis Hunter, who's an absolute dog out of Colorado, number 1. Will Johnson out of Michigan at number 5. Number 2 corner, 5 overall. Benjamin Morrison, one of my favorite players out of Notre Dame. He's in the 19 spot. He peaked at 10, but he's the 3rd best corner. You've got Siobhan Rebel Jr. out of East Carolina. Look at that.
I love their unis. He was their unis on Ultimate Team 2, Clay, with the purple helmet and the sparkle. Actually, I picked up his card. He's an 88 overall, season 3. I'll take it right now, But,
and then Tacario Davis, like I said, the 5th best corner in the draft. Now, the other one that someone asked about was defensive tackle Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. Let's hit the defensive tackles real quick. And I think we're going to be in the market for a D tackle. That's just me personally. Mason Graham out of Michigan is the top defensive tackle. He's 6th overall. Mm-hmm. Kenneth Grant, 17th overall, 2nd. So the top 2 defensive linemen are Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant. You guys know that's always a red flag to me because it's like, are they both great or is one really good and the other and drawing attention away from the other? You know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of that you got to take into consideration. I remember people saying that Rashawn Gary was going to be a bust and it was Chase Winovich that was going to be really good, right? And it ended up being the opposite. I think Chase Winovich might be out of the league now, and Rashawn Gary is one of the highest paid edge defenders. So number 3.
Who?
Number 3 is yeah. Number 3 is Deion Walker out of Kentucky. I got to mention about Kentucky.
And come on, number 4. Don't leave out number 4. With the 24th pick, the Green Bay Packers select Walter Nolan, D lineman out of Ole Miss.
Walter Nolan sounds like somebody's grandpa back home in Kentucky, does it not? Like, seriously, I'm pretty sure he snuck me chewing tobacco when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, he walked in there.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Boy, just chew on this. It'll be fine. Exactly right. So there you go. There's a little bit of early draft talk. I guarantee you we lost some subs right now because people get pissed when you talk about the draft during the season. We will never be deep diving draft talk during the season, but if listeners ask, we'll hit on a couple, because it's never too early to start talking draft, really isn't. So, Emilio, you got anything else, bub?
No, man. Happy Wednesday. I'm glad the injury report looked as it did. I'm just happy the receipt hasn't gotten longer. We talked about that earlier in the year. Let's keep it short and keep that D line rotating. I think those hockey lines are still going to come into effect. It's just new lines, right? The seniors graduated, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, you all got to step up, and it's about time.
Yep, definitely. Prince in the chat said, fun PTA fact. If you watch this show in Australia, the vortex created by the sucking swirls in the opposite direction. And then Chris N confirms this show definitely sucks, but I do love it. So
Appreciate that.
we appreciate it. Matter of
You
fact,
heard it from a fan right here.
there you go. Emilio, thanks for jumping on, buddy. It's good to have you back.
Oh,
I know
always.
Tim will be back here in a few days. He's got some stuff he's taking care of. I'll be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Lambeau if everything goes as planned. And then we'll do an evening show tomorrow night as well. We may break down some tape with Chicago. We'll dive a little bit deeper into some of the insights for the matchup coming up. I feel like we got a pretty good grab on what Chicago is and what the Packers are. You can't overlook them. You can't overlook any team in this league, that's for sure. But it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of dive a little bit deeper and see what they're doing well, what they're not doing well. But
Definitely.
Again, Emilio, thanks for your time, buddy. We appreciate it.
Always, man. Appreciate you.
All right, guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow. As always, let's go out and be the change that we want to see in the world. Go Pack, go.
That is a possum in a dumpster.